Tonight, the election prospect of one of South Africa's largest and most troublesome province.
What people in the Eastern Cape are looking forward to is these local government elections, putting into place stable and accountable local councils.
Efforts to reverse the trend of low voter turnout in local government elections.
We put the same energy, or probably even more energy, in the local government elections because of their importance and because of their complexities.
And the games politicians play to attract votes.
I like that headline, the games they play. Well, stay tuned to find out what games they play. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our special pre-election program. My name's Leanne Manis.
And good evening to you at home. I am Thabiso Sitola. Our topic tonight is voter apathy. Why is that so many voters stay away on voting day in local government elections?
Good question. Well, you can take part in this program. Send us your email and your SMS if you'd like to. Begin your SMS with the word VOTE, followed by your message. Now, SMSs do cost R1.50. Be aware of that. Our email address, let's give that to you as well. elections@sabc.co.za.
Now, as electioneering got off the ground this year, the issue of public officials donning party uniforms to official events surfaced again. Today, Gauteng Legislature Integrity Commissioner Jules Browdy reaffirmed that this is not acceptable. This followed a complaint against Health MEC Ntombi Mehwe. She wore an ANC T-shirt to the unveiling of new equipment at the Chris Hari Baragwanath Hospital last month. Let's take a look now at some other election news.
Wie lewer die beste dienste vir almal?
Look at my report card. The DA leader says the city of Cape Town has spent over 1.2 billion rand on upgrading informal settlements. The party is also promising to spend a further 1.1 billion rand on providing clean water, sanitation, electricity and refuse removals for the poor.
Across the board, on every function of local government, the poor do better in the places where the DA governs, creating those opportunities to build a better life for all.
Across the country in Johannesburg, the COSATU leader wasn't laughing.
Very soon, we may have to call someone President Zile.
Addressing NUMSA members, Vavi warned his comrades in the Tripartite Alliance to be vigilant. He also called on them to save the ANC from plunging into a situation where it will lose future elections.
We're going to the elections, in fact, with our tails between our legs, with our backs on the wall. Why? Because, as I've said, 1.17 million jobs have disappeared and not created.
The ruling party has removed several names from its candidate lists in recent weeks. The upcoming election is now set to have a record number of independent candidates, many of them women. But speaking in Kwa, ANC Women's League President Angie Motshekga today shrugged off the competition. She said an independent can never rule. And there'll be one less party on the ballot paper this year. The New Vision Party has been dissolved. It's officially joining the African People's Convention. Last year, NVP President Ike Kekana defected to COPE.
Now, local elections in the Eastern Cape could be interesting, although political analysts predict that the ANC will retain its stronghold on the province regarded as its home ground. Despite dissension in its ranks, the experts see no real alternative. Here's Mike Proctor-Sims.
A huge province and one of extremes. The Eastern Cape is divided into two main regions, the East and the West, although it's not quite as simple as that. The Eastern region encompasses the former homelands of Transkei and Ciskei and the pre-democracy white corridors around and in between. This region is beset with many problems inherited from the homeland system, but critics say these challenges should have been overcome since the advent of democracy in 1994. Former ANC freedom fighter Janet Terry is now a political and sociological scientist at the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University in Port Elizabeth.
I think what people in the Eastern Cape are looking forward to is these local government elections, putting into place stable and accountable local councils which will put together proper administration and good governance in all the local municipalities.
The Western region is more urban and industrialized and is the hub of the country's motor industry. The province in general is also important for its agriculture, harbours, industrial development zones and fishing. The next most important industrial and urban hub is Buffalo City, which is earmarked to become the province's second metropolitan municipality. The Eastern Cape is also renowned politically as the birthplace of South Africa's first two democratically elected presidents, Nelson Mandela and Thabo Mbeki, as well as a host of other freedom fighters and leaders. In the 26 local government elections, the ruling ANC party took all but one municipality in the province, the Baviance municipality, which was won by the DA. The DA fared next best, followed by former Homeland leader and ANC firebrand Bantu Holomisa's United Democratic Movement. However, since then, the dynamics of the politics in the province have changed somewhat. The UDM appeared to be a spent force, and the Congress of the People, or COPE, had not yet been formed. COPE, which has a strong power base in the province, ousted the DA as the official opposition in the last national and provincial elections. The effect of the infighting within COPE will be gauged in these elections. But analysts still think that if COPE formed an alliance with the DA, the two could wrest some councils from the ANC, especially in the Western region.
Of course, there is still some competition to the ANC, and it's coming from the UDM, from the DA, and from COPE. And COPE actually performed quite well in some municipalities in the national election in 2009. And so I think the ANC still has to watch their back a bit.
The ANC's possible loss of control in some Eastern Cape municipalities could be the result of service delivery complaints, the collapse of development projects, and internal strife within the party. 3 municipalities, the Alfred Nzo District Municipality, Kokama, and Mpuma, are classified as dysfunctional, largely as a result of ANC infighting. Other municipalities are struggling with the same problem. Cherry believes the local elections will provide a chance for municipalities to get back on track, provided that the right candidates are nominated and elected.
Problems with municipal managers, problems with the mayors, and these things really do impede municipal government in its primary function, which is provision of services and local economic development.
The main issues for voters are housing, health, education, employment, poverty, water and sanitation. These are areas where the province's record is far from outstanding.
The roads in our townships inside the location, they were very bad, and they taking so long to. I would like to see that change, as well as the sports field for the kids.
They must keep their promises. If they say they're going to build houses, they're going to create more jobs, they have to do that.
In the 26 local elections, 57% of the nearly 3 million registered voters turned up at the polls. There are some fears that service delivery issues, general apathy, and a perceived lack of alternatives to the ruling party could lead to an even lower poll. Mike Proctor-Sims, SABC News, Port Elizabeth.
Well, local governments are directly responsible for service delivery, and being closer to the people should make them more accountable. Why then is there less interest in local elections than for national elections? After the break, we're going to explore some of these reasons. Stay tuned.
With a splitter and a splatter. It is the same but better. Better and better.
We're here to see how people react when they try new Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief. Now, what I'd like you to do is rub this new toothpaste where you feel the sensitivity. Now, drink this ice water.
That's quick. It works.
It's the Pro Argin formula that instantly seals the open channels to the nerves. With daily brushing, you get lasting relief. It's worked really quickly.
New Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief for instant and lasting relief. Prove it to yourself. Colgate, #1 brand recommended by dentists. I'm the Invisible Man. I'm the Invisible Man. Incredible how you can.
service so fast, it'll be as if it never happened. Call Outsurance today on 08600 60,000.
What's the Bob doing here?
I'm the Invisible Man.
Kyk woensdag aan Pasella en maak saam met ons vanjaar jou groot jaar. Leer ten minste een nuwe vaardigheid aan. Sluit minder koring in jou dieet in en vervang dit met opwindende plaasvervangers. Ontdek Bloemfontein in die Vrystaat vanuit 'n historiese perspektief. Laat minnesanger Ray Dillon die noot aangee en stap saam met ons deur die skone Sedgefield op die tuinroete waar skilpaaie beskerm word. Pasella, woensdag 7:30 SABC 2.
On the next episode of Squeezers. Squeezers on SABC 2.
Welcome back. You're watching a special pre-election program on SABC2, coming to you live from a rather chilly Johannesburg in our studios here at the SABC.
Well, our topic tonight is low voter turnout, and we've asked some of our viewers why they would not bother voting at all this year.
Mina registering ku vota la ku loko swiswane ni vota ni votela lo anga ta ni support ka swilo leswi swi lavaka na swi vona ku leyi ni nga yi votela ku sungula a yi le ku ni pfuneni hi nchumu se hi choice ya mina ni la ku votela leyi nga ta ni pfuna
ma nga register kusho ukuthi ngisavuma le old thing le bekade yenziwa yabo
ja ek het geregistreer.
Why?
Want ek wil stem, ek stem elke jaar, so ek stem gereeld.
Senta votela hi no xa swifakila mara na ku hava ntirho.
I must still get my green ID book. It was stolen. But I am voting, yes.
Nee, ek het nie. Want hulle het my handsak met al my goed ingesteel. Dit het ook my ID-boek was ook daarin. So ek kon nie registreer nie.
Ek is vote. Gaan nou moet ek raad so dit. Die registreer nie ek vote.
Yes, I have. Why? Because I believe that we all must vote. Otherwise, we don't have a voice.
Some real concerns from real South Africans. Now, South Africa has enjoyed a comparatively high voter turnout in general or national elections. The 2009 national and provincial elections saw almost 78% of registered voters turning up at the polls. However, the same is not true for the municipal elections. In 2006, less than half of all registered voters made their mark. Vishan Pillay filed this report.
South Africa holds national and provincial elections every 5 years. Municipal elections are also held every 5 years, the last one in 2006. Local governments are directly responsible for service delivery, and being closer to the people should make them more accountable. There should therefore be more interest in local elections than for national and provincial ones.
We put the same energy, or probably even more energy, in the local government elections because of their importance and because of their complexities.
However, local government elections see a far lower turnout. In the 2004 national elections, there was a 76% poll. But the local government elections, which followed in 2006, drew only 48% of registered voters. This is an international phenomenon. The United Kingdom sees only about 30% of their registered voters turning out for local elections, while the last general election saw 65% turnout. And even with the hype created by Barack Obama, only 63% of American voters turned out for their elections. Analysts say this is due to disenchantment with the political process and satisfaction with government performance. In South Africa, the reason for low voter turnout seems to deal more with the lack of service delivery and border disputes.
The toilets are falling, water, no roads, no everything, not till what they've been made since we've been here.
We promised a lot of things, such as road fixing and we get better houses and even toilets, but There's nothing happening here.
Even now, they were telling us about the registration for the election, for the voting. We didn't even bother to go there because what's the point of going there to vote, whereas you know that the government isn't doing anything for us?
A study conducted by the Human Sciences Research Council bears testimony to this. It found that while over 60% of people were satisfied with the national and provincial governments, only 43% were happy with the performance of their local government.
There's a sense of apathy, there's a sense of reluctance, almost hopelessness. And while people do take to the streets, it could be construed as an alternative means of engaging the state, rather than the more formal participation mechanisms like elections.
Unhappiness with party nomination lists led to violent protests in parts of the country, and there were fears that this would seriously affect voter turnout. Political parties have tried to avoid this.
Whether you like the face of a councillor or no, as long as next to that face there is an emblem of the ANC, you must vote the African National Congress.
A concern for the Independent Electoral Commission is also the low number of young people that are registered to vote. Only half of those aged between 18 and 29 years are registered, compared to those above 29, where 93% are registered. In the run-up to the local government elections, the IEC held targeted campaigns to increase awareness among the youth.
More than 80% of people who registered were young people between the ages of 18 and 29. So young people do well. We just have to make sure that we impress upon them to ensure that they vote on voting day.
A suggestion to have the national, provincial and local government elections on the same day is still being debated. The IEC says a single election will not be possible in the near future, and that at least 10 years will be needed to perfect the voters' roll. Prashant Pillay, SABC News, Pretoria.
And hope the political parties are listening to everyone's concerns out there. Now, moving on, the IEC may find it difficult to stimulate voter interest in the upcoming elections. After 17 years of voting experience, South African voters have become somewhat cynical of the unfulfilled promises and self-enrichment culture of the ruling elite. And opposition politics have been marred by turmoil and a lot of instability. Uzandi Lengrivan filed this report.
Duncan Village in East London, one of the worst living areas in the country. The area has seen a number of service delivery protests across the country over the years. Duncan Village is highly politicized. Almost everybody belongs to a political party. Tombizine Mafumana has lived in Duncan Village since 1985. She says vulnerable societies will always be the victims of politicians' false promises.
Every time there's an election, our hopes get raised by promises of a better life, houses and jobs. But after the election, it will be quiet and none of the promises will be fulfilled.
What makes local elections so crucial is that it's directly linked to service delivery. Voters have the opportunity to decide who will serve them in the various municipal councils. What do you understand by local government elections?
What I understand about local government elections is that the person who rules us, where we are staying around Aituka.
Is it not to elect your local representatives, the people that will represent you? If you do have complaints, those are the people that you go to.
Do you know who your councillor is in Pick n Pay?
No.
Do you know what to expect from him?
Not at all.
And what do you expect from the municipality where you live? What kind of services do you expect from the municipality?
Well, the services we expect are to have our roads tarred properly and kept clean and no potholes in them, and our water needs to be treated properly.
People living in urban areas expect the municipality to keep their areas clean and well maintained. They depend solely on the municipality for water supply, refuse removal and burial sites. But some do not even know who their councillors are or how they get elected, and they don't attend council meetings. Zwandile Ntwahla is one of the long-serving councillors at Ward 30 in East London. He says the biggest problems faced by the council is unemployment and skills shortage.
What is not going right for me at the moment is a slow delivery. It is a slow delivery. Sometimes you will write a letter to Ukomdi Service to say, can you send people bazokwenza i-boostering, it takes time. I don't want to run away on that. We as councillors, to me, I don't know how can I put it. We are not committed.
But how do they get things done on a daily basis?
The first thing, you write a letter to the speaker, or accountable to the speaker. The speaker will take that letter, rush it to the department. You need to make a follow-up. You as a councillor are not going to follow up on a daily basis. Speaker, I'm saying motion now.
Poor service delivery is a burning issue in many parts of the country. But the best way to ensure good service delivery is to elect the right people to be your councillors. East London.
Now, thank you very much for sending us your emails and your SMSs. Remember, begin your SMS with the word vote, followed by your message. Now, an SMS will cost you R1.50. You may not see the SMS scrolling across the screen this evening, but we will get them going from tomorrow. So your SMS is not being lost. We will be rolling them tomorrow. Now, our email address is elections@sabc.co.za. We'd love to hear from you. You are the reason that we're doing this broadcast and bringing you all the information you need to know about the elections. And in those emails, give us all the problems that you would like us to look into, and perhaps we can send our reporters and investigate that. After the break, we'll take a look at the antics of politicians when they're trying to get your vote. Stay tuned.
Aquafresh White and Shine, a unique whitening formula with microbuffing particles that gently polish away surface stains, leaving your teeth so white they shine. Aquafresh White and Shine, now available in Herbal Fresh.
Tonight on Seven Alarm.
Dit lyk nie goed nie.
Ja.
Ek twyfel of Errol besef hoe ernstig dit is. Wat dink jy moet ons hom sê?
Seven Alarm. Tonight, 6:30.
Each year we get bigger and better. Be prepared for this year's talent to blow you away.
Welcome to Hollywood.
God, security!
He's giving fire for the show and you're going to kick me up?
No.
Yo, Mom, she's through.
Oh, yes, it's the Hollywood Cheese Show.
You got 4 yeses.
Simon Cowell, I am going to Hollywood.
No, you're not.
American Idol. Thursday and Saturday on 2.
Welcome back, everyone. If you've just tuned in, this is your special pre-election show right here on SABC2. This is the 2nd episode, and in every single episode, we'll be giving you one of the smaller parties that will be contesting the local government elections. We're giving them an opportunity in 60 seconds to state his or her party's case.
Yeah. Well, yesterday we had Simoye, and today we have Sindawonye Progressive Party's turn. Let's take a look at what they want you to vote for them.
Sindawonye Progressive Party is a party that does not make empty promises. We are a party that make things happen. Nothing about the people without their direct involvement. When the Freedom Charter says people shall govern, it means that people shall decide their own destiny. We will make sure that we build proper and maintain roads. We will decide about the education of the children. We will improve water and electricity supply. We will take care of the sick and the weak. We will make sure that we provide a better housing schemes. whereby the communities will be directly involved in the construction of those houses in order for them to have their ownership.
Now here's that insert you've been waiting for the entire show. What do voters look for in a party? Is it the politicians' flair, fancy posters? Is it singing or dancing? Or is it actually the message they have? Yolisa Njamela takes a look at some of the antics politicians get up to attract voters.
A colorful spectacle. A prayer. Making a rock star-like entrance. Or using the most adorable members of society to woo the public. Politicians use all sorts of antics to attract voters. The need to communicate with the voters exposes some interesting elements. And some hilarious results. While others stick to what they're best known for. Others have no qualms with showing off their hidden skills. All in the name of voting day, they do it. Yolisa Njamela, SABC News.
If only we'd vote on who's the best dancer. Now, finally, news just in. The Independent Election Commission has announced that this election will see more than 55,000, in fact, exactly 55,684 candidates vying for office. This is the largest number of candidates ever to contest the 10,000 local election seats. A total of 121 parties have notified the IEC of the intention to take part in these elections. 1,914 candidates did not provide their copies of their identity documents, and 198 did not provide their ID numbers. A further 1,501 did not submit their acceptance of nomination. Those candidates who did not comply have until 1700 hours, that's 5 o'clock this coming Friday, to do so. Well, that's it from me.
Pretty much so.
Who
That
would you
brings
vote
us to
for
the
if
end.
they don't?
I don't know. It depends who's got the most talent. It looks like that's what South Africans are looking for. SA's got talent, not the elections. Anyway, that's all your time for this evening. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock right here on SABC2 for more election news.
Good evening. Cheers.